Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta. And that is
What, you got liquor today?
Open.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I've got liquor, but I also have my beer cracking open beer. And
yeah, it's all right. Sometimes you just got to make the noise.
And a cooler of liquor down here as well to keep it going, this party rolling.
All right.
I like it.
Greetings from St. Petersburg, Florida, guys. Or actually, technically, South Pasadena.
Greetings from Winning Tuesday.
Haha, yes.
Isn't that what they called it? Was that tweet? That weird-ass tweet?
Victory Tuesday.
Victory Tuesday.
Victory Tuesday.
So I know Ryan did. Did you see that tweet I just retweeted out there, Tim, from Georgia State, from Georgia State football athletics? It was the weirdest little compilation video.
So weird.
Oh, I saw that. I saw it before they released it.
I love it, but I don't.
It was like a total recall, like, flashing all the images in front of someone's brain to like subliminally, change what, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great. I mean,
there's like birds digging a hole.
That's how it ended. They actually kind of ended with McKelly like hitting a ball inside of Center Park Stadium, and then just it goes quiet and these birds are whatever. Yeah, it was
it's very
check
weird.
Check it out on the Twitter retweet. I thought it was hilarious.
It is the trend for the youngsters. That's what it is. I've seen them before. I've seen these types of videos before. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do one for football. Cool.
It reminded me of like American Horror Story.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm in for the whole thing. I don't understand it. I didn't know that it was a thing. Somebody kind of made a comment about being a thing on there, but I'm in. It was weird. And the fact that it came from athletics, it wasn't like just a fan did that. It came from the actual sponsor university. Like there's so many things that the university can't or won't do just because of like some ethical, moral guidelines and just trying to be a good sportsman, coach speak type stuff. They made me feel
uncomfortable as shit about gloating, and it feels good. I don't know why. It made me feel good.
It made you feel good in the downstairs region.
It was like, well, no, maybe not. That might be a weird indicator for some things for me if that were true, and it's not.
Yes, I mean that's what we're here to talk about. It's a bye week this weekend, so all we get to do is talk about what happened on Saturday, and what a game!
Jokes on y'all. I don't remember shit.
You don't.
Well, you do remember that you'd agreed to up your PAC donation and buying a ticket to basketball this season. So
you don't remember that?
Did. Yes, you did.
What I do remember was trying to assure everybody around me that sometimes the stats don't tell the full story about Granger and that he played a better game than his stats show.
That was out of the few questions I wrote down, because my note list is very, very short, because it's just like I can talk crap about the trash down south without notes all day long. But sure. One thing I had was, Ryan Granger, what is your take on him in this game?
Yeah, how did he do?
Well, I just said it. So I mean, he still was 64%, right? But so it's pretty good with like 2 touchdowns and an interception. So like, maybe that's not as good as it could be, but I still think that his play in the game, I was impressed the whole time. I feel like he was showing up when it mattered, and I think that's what matters. Like, I think the point I was trying to make while I was drunkenly rambling about how good he was, which is weird for me, but is that weird. Stats don't always tell the whole story of the game, right? You can have awesome stats and lose the game, and it's your fault that the game was lost. And you can have terrible stats and play a good game, and it be your fault that they won. And I think Granger just played a really good game, especially like when it mattered. He just was lighting them up. It was great.
Well, I mean, and then obviously defense played a great game. When you get
against the rush.
Four interceptions, and then a fumble recovery, 5 turnovers. I think that's sets a record for the university. That honestly, I think I saw somebody post. It was either on message board or on Twitter or whatever. It's one of those kind of where the score is not indicative, but not just the score is not indicative. The score should have been greater. When you get 5 turnovers, you recover 5 turnovers, you should outscore your opponent by quite a bit more. Tim, what were you going to say?
No, I would say the margin of victory should have been much higher with the 5 turnovers. I was surprised it wasn't, but I know we had kind of 2 series where we got some turnovers. I think we only got field goals off of that. So, I mean, there's kind of part of it.
And then it seems like the gas was pulled off in the second half of the game. We scored double digits in both the first and second quarters, and then just a touchdown or whatever in the last two, a touchdown each in the last 2 quarters or something like that.
It got a little uncomfortable, right? I mean, I was uncomfortable when it was 34-30 at the end of the third.
Oh yeah, right. You pull within 4 points, and then again we all go back to our Atlanta teams thing where Atlanta teams blow leads. But that's not what happened. It's not.
We definitely didn't let the curse settle in on those black jerseys, right? We shook it. We shook it.
Yes, very excited that the black jerseys are not cursed because I really like them a lot, and I want to see that. And I want to see the exact same jersey in blue and the exact same jersey in white, like full on blue. Head to toe. Yes, I want that so bad.
For sure. Their quarterback, despite the turnover situation with him, he still just lit up our secondary. He did a lot of what he wanted besides those turnovers, right? But our defense did keep them under 100 yards rushing, which is, something they're not used to seeing at all. I don't know what the recent history is because I really only pay attention to them one time a year. But, and under 100 yards rushing, you're going to win that game a lot of times.
And you get blackout drunk, so you really don't remember even that much of it while you did watch it, right? While you are paying attention.
I did go look at the box score before this. Because
did you do show prep?
I did. Show prep. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, what I realized was I don't remember a lot, so I was like, well, let me go look at the stats and see if I can shake some of this stuff loose because I know it's in my head. I watched the game. So, but yeah, we stopped their rush though. Completely.
You enjoyed the game, really.
I did.
You really did.
I did.
Yeah, and talking about rushing, Tucker Gregg becomes the all-time touchdown leader in touchdowns and is 200 something yards away from being the all-time rushing leader for Georgia State, taking over for Trey Barnett.
Pretty sure he breaks that this year, right? I don't see how not.
Well, he'll break it not this week because it's a bye week, but he could run it down App's throat. In a week and a half. That's kind of a weird thing. We'll talk more about trash, but it's weird that we have it's a short bye week. Typically you have that bye week to get prepared, get healthy and everything, but it's a Wednesday game. Wednesday game is so early. It's barely a bye week.
Who doesn't love a Wednesday game? Come on.
This guy right here. Do not love Wednesday games.
I don't either.
I was talking, you and the three of us talked about it briefly before we came on I talked to the App State podcast, the Black and Gold guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be doing something with them on Thursday for their podcast. And obviously they offered to talk to us for hours. And I'm like, yeah, so we record on Tuesdays. You're going to give your listeners basically effectively 12 hours once you figure in the night goes by to listen to your pregame show. I'm like, well, we all have lives and it's really hard for us to all get together to record something. So yeah, it's going to be a short and sweet, simple. And with the bye week, that's all we'll talk about. It'll be just,
why not?
Talk App State. Everybody either listen live on Tuesday night or listen on your drive up to App State.
Did you ask them how they were feeling after that Texas State game?
Well, the text I got from Alex basically said, "Thank you for being the only silver lining of our weekend."
Wow, that's a nice compliment. I like it.
Well, if there's any team out there that possibly or any fan base that hates the trash down south more than us, it's got to be them. But I don't even know if they hate it.
They respect them.
Do you think the App State fan base actually hates the trash down south more than we do? Which fan base hates that team more? I think that we do.
I don't think you have to pick, I think we can all hate them.
Equal hate opportunities. Right?
But they've been so successful that they can, we'll throw a little hate your way. I guess they did ruin their.
We're 6-3. We're 6-3 against the trash down south right now. We've dominated this series, and they still shit talk.
That was another thing I saw, and we've talked all the time about whenever we beat them, which happens all the time, it's never that we were the better team. It was, their coach was checked out, or it was a down season. It's the same thing I saw on social media this time was, we Georgia State didn't win the game. We lost it. We didn't play to our potential. I'm like, you know what, dudes? We played the team that you put on the field and you lost. And it's become kind of a pattern for you guys. At some point, we are just the better team.
Boom.
Never. That's their answer. I think I read some tweets, though. You must have read some of the similar ones. They're like, we always play our worst game of the year for them. I'm like, I don't know how that's possible. It's just the game you're playing.
Well, what that means is that we are better than them. I mean,
and it's our Super Bowl, right?
If you always do it, then it just means that we show up and we're a better team. I mean, it's not difficult. They know this. They just refuse to admit it.
But the stadium,
the baseball field we play on.
Yes, the Olympic cauldron.
And there's no fans. There's no fans that come to the games either.
No, we had zero over there.
No fans in our baseball park. Well, you know what? So this actually leads into a tweet. I kind of dug back into the social media searches before we came on tonight just to look and see if there's anything fun to talk about. And there was from the Gatta Row podcast. And they were, as far as TDS fans go, they were being pretty, level-headed. They're like, I think their tweet was along the lines of, as much as it sickens me to admit it, Georgia State just cares more about this game than we do, and they own it. They're better than us when it comes to this game. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. We are better than you. We are.
Yeah, I don't think it's our Super Bowl, right? I mean, I know there's some tweets out there that say this is our Super Bowl. It's not our Super Bowl. Why would that be our Super Bowl?
We do love it. I mean, we love this game.
Sure. We want to beat them.
We all get hyped for it.
I will say this. It has been Moore's Super Bowl. Like that. This is his favorite week. The only week that comes even close to it, and it's nowhere near close, is when we play the Trash Down South in basketball.
Yeah. He is the only fan of Georgia State, though, right? He's the only one that went to the game. Isn't that what the tweets are saying?
And on top of that, they would have never given us trash. They would have never given us a time of day had it not been for that one article that he wrote that said we were scared, that they were scared to play Georgia State.
That's an excuse.
And now they love us to no end, right?
That's the thing. So they get up for it too. I mean, game 1 against us, they pull out the Paulson North. I mean, come on, guys. Like, it means a lot to y'all too. Don't act like it doesn't just because you're 3-6 against us. I mean, it's
right. Was it that run? Was it that corner or whatever, Najee Harris or whatever his name was?
Oh, and he was talked for like 2 weeks before. He had another game before that he was still shit talking us.
Hey, Ryan, I know that you hate this kind of stat as much as I do, but I wanted to go back and do the math on it, and I didn't. So they have never led in the series since that very first win back in, what was it, 2013 or whatever year it was. And so I wanted to count how many days that they had led the series, which would be, 360-ish days, right? They led for a year. And then how many years that we have led in days, because it would be, thousands of days. Just because it's dumb, because you only play football. You only play, yeah, they do have more points. They do have more points. Doesn't matter. You can't spread them out. As much as I've tried to spread points out from other games, they never let me do that. But
they didn't claim that this time, though. Even though it's still true, they still have more points in the overall series.
They're so quiet. They really, when I like I said, I went back and searched the search history for stuff. There wasn't a lot to be said.
Was it Najee Thompson? Is that the name?
I thought it was Harris, but
well, if it's Najee Harris, then there's no stats. If it's Najee Thompson, dude got a tackle.
Oh.
Dude got a tackle.
Maybe one tackle, right at the line on a throw where we tried to screen. It didn't work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at the comments. Carlos Bates commented. It's Najee Thompson. A dude from their team has been quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You shut up when you only have one tackle. Like what? You didn't do anything, man. Congrats.
On my least favorite play rerun, which we only ran one time in that game.
What was it?
So it's just bubble screen, basically. That's it.
Oh,
Well, the one play that I was upset about, because I can't remember a lot of stuff about games and I don't know a lot about football, was Granger got injured or his helmet came off for a single. He had to go out of the game because that's the rule. And they put McKelly in, and Ryan and I were. Tim,
Throw
you were
it!
sitting.
Light 'em up.
Tim, you were sitting in your seat because you're a good person, and Ryan and I, found our way into other places during the game. You joined us later.
I did.
But we're like, whenever a backup quarterback comes in and one of these kind of plays where it's just like the starting quarterback will be back after this one play, you're just doing it for the rule. It's always a handoff. It's always a handoff. I mean, I would say, 99 times out of 100, it's a handoff. I don't care if it's high school, college, pro, Canadian, European, whatever. It's always a handoff. And so but it's McKelly. Just let him air the ball out. The dude, how many times has he touched the ball all season long? Just let him toss it out there.
That's what all the wide receivers say, that he's accurate. He's got an arm. He's the one who they want throwing the ball more, right?
Right.
I mean, he's a better passer than Granger, is what we've heard.
Well, I'm not.
So we don't know that for a fact, but let's leverage
the myth
that, and where they think you're going to hand it off 99 times out of 100, like David said, light them up.
Right. Just do it. And I guess you're ruining the chance for, a pick or something like that. Whatever. No, they're not going to expect it. Have the receivers, hell, make that a play. Make it a play. I don't want to encourage a faking an injury, because I know that's against the rules of faking injury. But if Granger kind of just pulls his helmet strap as he's falling down for the helmet to pop off, so it comes off, he's got to sit down and play, and then they know all right, when Granger pops the helmet, we're going to go in, and McKelly's going to drop a 40-yard bomb into the end zone, and then we'll be good. That's our strategy there. I should be a head.
Should be an
coach.
OC. No, you should be an offensive coordinator.
I want to be the head football coach. I think
you
that
could
I'm
just
more
be like like Ted Lasso style, like a Nate. Nate the Great.
Oh no, I want to be Ted Lasso, but I need to have my Coach Beard to actually do all the real work.
You're more Coach Beard than you are a Ted Lasso.
Well, is that because of the beard?
I think
that's about it.
Yeah. I did think whenever I do a Dragon Con, I'm like, what kind of costume can I wear? Because there's not a lot of costumes for people with beards. And I'm like, when Coach Beard came out, I'm like, that they literally wrote this character for me to be my Dragon Con costume. And then I did not do that for Dragon Con.
No spoilers still. I'm not done with the second season still. So
it was crazy when college football came and asked for Ted Lasso to come back to the U.S. and he won the national championship under Alabama. Yeah.
That better not happen. All I gotta say is that better not happen.
How can you not have finished Ted Lasso yet? I know, Tim. I know you want to get back on topic, but how can you not have finished Ted Lasso yet? When I watch a clip on YouTube, just the best moments of, I'm like, well, I got to go watch the whole series again, and I watch it in 2 days.
Yeah, well, I'm watching it with someone, so you gotta get the schedule on par and all that stuff. So,
hey, your someone's not watching or is watching Rings of Power without you, so I think you have the ability to flex it a little bit.
Oh boy,
I actually remembered something you told me. Anyhow, Tim, get us back on topic.
Rings of Power. Anyway, I don't even want to know. No, I thought when Granger went down, I was a little worried for a second. He looked like he was in a little bit of pain, but apparently he wasn't. And then when I saw McKelly go in, I turned to my friends. I was like, we should totally bomb this. Just Hail Mary it. They're not going to expect any of it. But he's probably going to hand it off.
Yeah. There's a reason why fans don't coach games.
Because we'd make awesome decisions that wouldn't work out, right?
Yeah. Well, we would coach games like we play Madden or NCAA 4. It's like, no one ever does the run up the middle play in Madden. It's always run 4 or 5 wide receivers as far as possible. You're bombing the ball every single time in Madden. So yeah, that's what fans would do. And that's what I would do. And that's why, one of the many reasons why I never even scratched the surface of college football officiating or coaching officiating. Even worse, be worse at that.
Ooh, that's something from the game that I now remember. You said officiating. Was it just me, or were there a bazillion reviews of plays that took forever for them to figure out? Because I don't know. I haven't been to a Georgia State home game where there's been that many reviews in a game. I don't know what you thought.
I
don't
don't
remember that.
Yeah. Well, I was a drunk. I was a drunk Ryan the entire time. So whenever it was during a non-playing time, I got to listen to him.
So did you agree with the targeting call or no?
In general, I think I disagree with most targeting calls. I think it's stupid. Let them play the game.
You're like, what targeting call?
Targeting call?
Yes.
On who?
On one of our linemen going after Van Treese.
I disagree with it.
Yeah.
It was on our player. I disagree.
Yeah.
Well, see,
easy answers.
I gambled there. I was like, I'm going to go against it because I go against all targeting. And not all targeting, but I think targeting is a weird.
No, I think unless it's like really blatant, it should not really be called. And they overcall it for sure. And they want you to be like very conscious of it or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of it's bullshit. A lot of it's like not unsafe. I feel like I remember being upset about that call, but I have no idea, man.
You should have been. It was a bad call.
Yeah. That was this game?
That was this game.
Well, all of my bad call memories got covered because I flew down the next morning down here to Tampa or outside of Tampa, and I got to see the worst call ever with a roughing the passer on Brady.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I got to see on the replay. I'd already walked out. It was so balls hot, man. It was so damn hot. And
really?
The temperature was only 86, but it was like a magnifying glass. It was
you're just melting.
Yeah, we went down at halftime and just get in the concourse to get into the shade, and got back up there. And my wife was like, I don't remember. I'm not gonna throw her under the bus. I don't remember if it was her or me that said, do you want to go? And the other one said, absolutely. And we took off. And so I did miss that play. I did see it the next day. But yeah, that's my reason for not remembering that call is because the other call on Grady Jarrett was even worse.
It was that was really bad. And that's like conversation I was having today was like all these rules that protect offensive players and particularly quarterbacks. I mean, they're just like the pendulum has swung too far. They're football players. You should be able to take them down. You know what I mean? Like, nothing happened there. It was a little rough, but because football is like rough. Football is a rough sport.
The only thing that I could see about that you could say was roughing was Brady rolled on top of Jarrett and then came down the ground, so it was kind of like a body slam type thing. But it was a fluid motion. It wasn't. So
should have cradled him to the ground.
Well, he did anything. They should have called some shit on Brady for trying to kick the shit out of him.
Well, multiple times,
right? I mean, he like clearly tried to like tangle himself up in Jarrett, like and like make what it looks like to me is he tried to make him step on him. He tried to get him to step on him.
Right,
is what it looked like to me.
Yeah, well, Tom Brady's a tool bag. So, anywho,
sorry,
we
digress.
There was a quote from Elliott that, man, Ryan, I don't know if you read or watched the post-game stuff, but I think that you'll like this one. This is a Coach Elliott quote after the game. This game means more to us. All that coach speak about every game's the same, that's bullcrap.
Nice. Good for him.
We want to beat a rival, right? That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah, you can't say that before the game. Before the game, it's like, oh, we just want a good, healthy game. Everybody comes out there and plays their best, and at the end of the day, the best team wins. No, we wanted to beat the snot out of you. We didn't want to leave this game without a win, and we would have done whatever we can to make it happen. So yeah, I liked that. Was a good quote from Coach Elliott. I like it.
I'm sure all the tweets from Najee like make it even easier to hate them, right, and want that win to shut him up, right? I mean.
Yeah, I hate like smack talk because my teams have rarely ever been able to back it up.
What if we did back it up though? Would you?
Oh, then we'd be Patriots fans. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think that even App State fans, as successful as they've been in the Sun Belt, have never been and being 8-0, 9-0 against us. Have never really talked smack. I mean, worst case scenario is like, win and then let's talk about it or something, which is a fair statement to say. I really got no I got nothing against that one, but you got the trash down south can't win a game, and all they want to do is smack talk. That's all they can do is smack talk. Yeah, Carlos makes a good point here too. That Najee Thompson's mother was trash talking too. From what I saw on Twitter. Yeah, I saw some of that too.
So it runs in the family, huh?
What, trash talking us or trash talking her son?
Us. No, us.
Yeah.
Well, you got to ask these kind of questions because, he was pretty out of line. So if I was his mom, I'd probably be shit talking him. So
on social media.
Yeah, why not?
I didn't get trash talked by my dad, but I did get a watch your language message from my dad on Facebook once. I think I said something about the Saints and I dropped an F-bomb and my dad commented, "Watch your language, son."
Dad's going to put you in Facebook jail.
I had to have been like in my mid to late 30s at this point.
Too late.
Sorry, Dad. You raised a foul mouth asshole. So.
The tailgate though. Tailgate was good.
Always good.
Tailgate was fire.
Always good.
Had some smash burgers.
Smash burgers were on point.
I didn't have any.
I assume I didn't get any either.
Yeah, I didn't get any either. I kept on. So I waited and waited and waited. And I was like, David, I'll get one of the last ones. I'll let everybody else get some first. And then I came back from the bathroom at some point. And he was like, "They're all gone, Ryan." And I was like, "Well, I guess that's why I waited."
So I was trying to save in myself one as well. And so I told both of you guys, all right, I got one for you, whatever. And then I looked up at who was left in line and I counted. I'm like, all right, well, I got 2 left. The nice, genuine, gracious man that I am. I'm like, all right, cool. I only got 2 left. This is Ryan's.
You can have Ryan's.
This is Ryan's and this is Tim's. These are Ryan's and Tim's burgers left. And then Ben's dad walked up. He's like, "Can I get a burger?" And I'm like,
"Sure."
I was like, "Hey, Tim, do you see Ryan?" He's like, "No, I do not see him at all." And so, but it turns out even Tim got a little screwed over on it. And so did Ben's dad. We were at a hamburger bun. So they took,
hey, man, they took don't hate on buns. The hot dog hamburger, all right?
Wait, you didn't tell me about that.
They took
I squished it together.
They flattened them out and made hamburger buns out of them.
Oh, that makes it better, though.
Well, but I don't know how Tim did this, but he convinced me to convert my last 2 burgers into 3 burgers. And then Tim got 2 of those on his hamburger bun and Ben's dad got 1. So it was even a smaller burger that he got.
I don't think there was any convincing there, but sure.
That was the longest 1 hour of my life making those burgers. And I worked at McDonald's. I would do 10-hour shifts at McDonald's when I was in high school. And that was the longest hour making burgers of my life.
It was an hour and a half of making burgers. So there's that.
I kept coming over like every 20 minutes. Like, how are we doing? Where are we in the meet? How far are we along? When do I need to come back? Well, he's like, "Don't worry, I got you."
Of waiting until everyone else has got some is that if they run out, then you don't get any. That's the whole point. So, I did the right thing. I feel like, I paid the price for being a good guy.
Yeah. Well, stop doing.
Or having the shits. One of the two. We don't know.
I didn't have the shits. Jesus, I just went and peed.
Well,
I had to wait in a line, though. There were 3 porta potties for like a ton of people.
That was obviously because of this game. You're going to have a huge turnout of fans that come out, and
the students. I really like. They did a good job. They had their mechanical bull out there again, and
jousting.
Jousting
it up.
They had an inflatable jousting out there again as well.
Yeah, man, it was
again.
Great.
And then you also had the alumni football players that set up. They had their smokers and their own thing going. It was a good. I like that they moved the students or the Greek into the Victory Plaza on the bricks with us. It's made a much better atmosphere. Yeah, I really like it.
It's definitely good. It's because the one group of people who are like I feel like we're like a older more traditional tailgate where we've got like the good food more and like we got some classy stuff going on. They're like the student tailgate, just like party.
PBR, Natty Light.
It's
over
just
there.
Cool to be. Yeah, exactly. It's like it works out. There's like a good dynamic there.
Well, then
we hold down one side and they hold down the other side.
Well, Tim, we saw this when we were walking back from parking our cars and everything. You had like the good old South football fans of all the guys wearing their white button downs and their khakis and their ties, like they're at an Ole Miss game or something like that.
Very very SEC.
It was.
Yeah, where are the girls in the pencil dresses? Come on, if we're gonna have the guys in the shirts and ties, I need me some girls in some pencil dresses as well. All right.
Well, there were a bunch of. Apparently, the style is these white cowboy boots, and all I can think of is Reno 911 and new boot goofing.
You were talking about that.
I just want to walk by them and just be like, "Hey, girl, you new boot goofing?"
No, it was good out there. It's a good environment. I love it, and we get 2 more of them. We get ODU and we get Monroe, and we get chili cook-off, and whatever we're gonna do for Old Dominion as well.
Yeah. I experimented with the smoked thighs cut up like wings, and when I was cutting them, I was like, man, these are gonna turn out weird. And I think they turned out proper. I think they were fine. I think they were better than fine.
If I were to do anything different, and there's no reason why you should, I'm just saying, if you were looking for an excuse to do something different, would because you kind of made them into, you took that single bone in the thigh and made it into like a flat. But if you try to make it more into a drum, so because it's that single bone still, that'd be the only one difference that I would do.
Wrap it and like smoke it with maybe some twine or something so that it shapes.
I don't know, just kind of cut trim it down towards the other end, you have a bulbous end and a tighter end.
Maybe. My thing that I can do better is I can season them better. I did not season them very well.
I thought the flavor was great.
You might have got a good one. There were some bad ones.
For a dry seasoned wing, so to speak, or a thigh, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Back to Carlos is giving us some great content here. The picture, did you guys, Tim, I'm sure you saw this, Ryan, I'm sure you did not. The picture where the offensive lineman had pulled one of our players' hair. Did you see this?
Pulled his dread out.
Yeah.
Out?
Yeah,
yes.
Out. He held
O-U-T out.
He's holding it in front of him.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
there we go. There's our F-bomb of the episode. we can manage a PG-13 rating if there's no more.
My bad.
So yeah, man, that's the thing. We were talking about the TDS fans are like, oh well, I guess Georgia State just cares more about this. No, those trash down south players, they care about this game. They just are incapable of winning. When's the last time they won? They won. The last
4 years ago?
Was the last decade, and they didn't. And they beat a gimpy Dan Ellington. Right? Is that the last time they won?
I think so.
2019,
2020. Yeah, because 19 was Dan's gimp year.
Yeah,
and we would have totally destroyed them if he was at 100% health. For sure.
I think they're just very full of themselves. I think they go into these games, even though they're 3-6, even though they were 3-5 going into this, they go into these games thinking that they are the better team and that they don't have to show up. And
well, you think about it, they have nothing, like they're in like this little silent chamber in Statesboro where all they get told is how great they are the entire time.
Oh yeah.
All those used car dealership boosters they have are like, you're the greatest player of all time. That's all they hear is how great they are.
They think we're the worst team of all time. They constantly are told that we are the worst.
I'll agree. We are the worst team of all time. We have written the book on how to not start football, but we're better than one team. And that's the trash down south.
Yikes.
Hey, if you got to have something, that's a good one to have, right?
It's not true, though. I mean, I still think we're on the up and up. Even if we have kind of a down year here, I think that the trajectory of the program is upward, and we're definitely not the worst team. There are plenty of FBS teams that we would beat year in and year out.
We are one weird loss to Charlotte away from being ecstatic about our season right now.
That's right.
Pretty much. True.
I mean, if everything played out the exact same way, but we converted one of those 2-point conversions or made that extra point,
or just didn't miss the extra points, right?
Yeah. We would be feeling good about ourselves. We would be 3-3. We'd be like, we'd be looking at bowl projections, which one we're going to be in right now. So yeah, it's we're really just that one win. We're that one win away from being excited about our season right now.
Need to steal another one, right?
No, there's no stealing. We went out. App State's garbage. They're absolute garbage.
Balls right there, David.
They lost to Texas State last week in San Marcos, and the score makes it look closer than what it is, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Texas State was up big on Appy early in the game, and then Appy came back to make it respectable at a 36-24 loss. So they've lost to JMU. They've lost to now Texas State.
Yeah, JMU's top 25.
JMU's top 25.
They essentially lost to Troy.
Why are we the only call up from the Sun Belt that hasn't been top 25 in like their first year?
Trash was they didn't.
Apple's in the top 25, were they?
I thought they did. Trash Down South, but they had a really good season, and I'm just not sure.
They won the belt.
Yeah, they won the conference.
So I'm sort of just like,
wait, dude, come on, seriously. Did you expect us to transition well? Look at the team we had.
We're the outliers for not being great. I almost did it again, for not being a great team. I just don't get it. I don't understand how we're the outliers.
Well, you also got to figure JMU got a lot of help going into this. The
NIL.
With all due
transfer
respect,
portal.
Did they have 85 scholarships?
Yes,
they do.
With all due respect to the whole COVID stuff, they benefited from those expanded scholarships and the fifth-year senior stuff, and then you tack on the transfer portal, which was not a thing back when we transitioned. So they were the perfect storm for transitioning.
Right. You can get all the transfers you want, and there's no penalty.
Yeah,
it's easy.
So. Well, and I will say I'll eat some crow. I'll eat some Duke crow when all the JMU fans
eat some Dookie.
We're saying that they were going to be a legit team in the conference, and I was like, no, you're gonna 6 and 5, 5 and 6 because they only play 11 games this season. Is a pipe dream for you guys. You should hope to get 2 or 3 out of there. I was wrong. They've obviously proven me wrong in that, but now you look at it, hindsight 2020, you can see why they're being successful, and we didn't have that opportunity when we moved up.
I was more concerned with the end of our schedule playing James Madison and then Marshall. I wasn't as concerned about Old Dominion and Southern Miss, and I'm still not as concerned about the two of them. I think we have a good 3 games in a row after we hit App with Old Dominion, Southern Miss, and Monroe. I think the end is harder.
Yeah, Monroe's actually had.
I know they're better.
They're better. They beat Lafayette. Lafayette and the Trash are tied for 0-2 in conference right now. They're the last place teams in conference in East and West. Yeah, no. No love lost there. I'm very excited about that.
Couldn't happen to 2 worse programs.
Yeah, I mean the only thing to be better is if somehow Monroe was also right there with them. You get both the Louisiana schools in, the Trash in there, and I'm happy.
Monroe, they've just been, they've never been like too much of a threat or anything. Like I'm not too worried about Monroe, but like
no, they killed Dane Ellington. They killed him. They killed him on the field.
Well, you know what?
They killed Dane Ellington.
Like the ACL
they brought
injuries,
a gun out, or I don't know.
ACL injuries, you like jump wrong on it and you just like crumple to the ground. It happens. Like it's not.
So now you're blaming Dane Ellington for his injury.
No, I'm not. I'm blaming his ACL for failing.
Ryan hates Dan Ellington. Title.
His ACL failed him, and you know what he said? He gave him the middle finger. He gave his own ACL the middle finger. I'm going to finish the season. I'm going to do it. And he did
F you, ACL.
He did it.
That's actually what happened. Is like there was a middle finger in his ACL, and it just popped out right in the middle of the whole game.
But Monroe, I mean, like, how can you be mad at Monroe? Little old Monroe. You can't be mad at Monroe. Lafayette, though, they can suck one.
Well, so Monroe is one of the reasons why so now that I'm supposed to be excited about the Sun Belt Conference, and you guys know I hate the Sun Belt Conference, Monroe is like that one team I'm like, but why are they in there? Like they're so small and underfunded and not good.
Like where else are you going to put them?
I don't know.
Moving to Conference USA. Here, go over there.
No, they're full now. They have a full 10-team roster now.
Monroe still should move down. I mean, it should be about athletic budget. I mean, that's what the split was in the first place. And so if you don't have a budget that matches what people have, you should stop calling these small programs up. Like the whole rumor of Kennesaw coming up, right? It's still a rumor, I think. Like they don't have a budget. They don't have a budget for it. They should stop.
They still have like what $26 million athletic budget or something like that. I mean, it's not like great, but it's bigger than other schools that are in the Conference USA, I think.
I mean, those schools shouldn't be there either.
I agree. That was my next statement. Was that's not a justification for those programs being there, but if you've already added programs like that,
we say their stadium can hold 8,000 people. I mean, that's
just over 8,000.
Oh, that's 8,100 people. Sorry. You're FCS. I'm sorry.
So that was actually
everyone get on top of each other in that 16,000.
Well, there's probably a lot of pineapples in Kennesaw.
Hey yo.
So that was actually a topic that I had for tonight, was to talk about Kennesaw. That's a weird way of pronouncing it. Kennesaw moving to Conference USA. We had found out about
Matthew Berry on it.
Kennesaw. We had found out that was going to be getting some traction before we came on last week, but weren't really privy to talk about it. So we had, I guess, a little bit extra time to think about it. And now, what do you guys think? Is Kennesaw moving up? Can I pronounce it any more different ways? Is Kennesaw moving up? Is that, does it pose a risk to Georgia State? Do you care? What does it mean? What did y'all say?
I think it definitely poses a risk to Georgia State. They're so close. I mean, it's kind of cool in one aspect. You could become a rival, a game that we play every couple of years, I guess. But it's also more FBS players, more people from the state of Georgia going to Kennesaw. And since we don't recruit from the state of Georgia, we should be okay until we change head coaches and that head coach wants to recruit Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Then we'll have problems.
What do you think?
Well, that's all about relationships with the coach that we hire. So that won't be because Elliott never created these relationships, won't have any bearing on whether or not the coach that we bring in has the relationships. But I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I mean, they have about 8,000 seats in their stadium. If Ben is
that they don't fill.
What?
That they don't fill. They don't fill their stadiums up.
Yeah,
but they get close.
I believe there's no hope of actually increasing that anytime soon. They don't have any way out of the contract that they're in or some such. They don't spend a ton of money on it. There are all these rules around new schools using student fees to fund their athletic program, which is what they would have to do to get to FBS level, like facilities and all that. So I don't think, I don't see them doing a whole lot, even if they're in FBS, and it's fine.
Yeah, I really don't have a strong opinion. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I just don't really care. They don't bother me at all. They don't threaten me. I'm not whatever. I think that they have so many obstacles and hurdles to overcome that at this point, I can't imagine them leapfrogging Georgia State in any way when it comes to athletics. At least
they still embrace the triple option, which I mean, I feel
now,
like it's
they've had the same head coach since they started, right? They haven't switched head coaches yet. It's the same guy that was like the TDS prodigy or whatever he was, right?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
And so who knows? Would they maintain that? We know that style of football wins at that level of play.
Sure.
Yeah. And we know that it tricks teams up at the FBS level of play. So if this guy comes in, how long is he there? I mean, up until Monken leaves Army or something, and they got to bring some guy in to do the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not threatened by him. I had one great idea that I think is awesome, and you guys kind of dismissed me on it. Was if Kennesaw State goes,
it's a terrible
FBS,
idea.
It's not a terrible idea. I was going to say it, but I was hoping that you would bring it up first. So keep saying what you're saying, David.
Is that I'm not saying an annual game, but every 2-4 years or something, Georgia State, Kennesaw State at Truist Park. We play there in between. They're almost equidistant in miles. It's like 12 and a half, 13 miles apiece for the schools between campus center.
Why is it a terrible idea, Tim?
Why do it? Who cares?
Play in Truist. It'd be cool.
I'd rather have them come to our place. I don't know.
I don't want those OTPers down in my neighborhood.
They've already been there.
I'm gonna eat those words about I
OTPers.
Like OTPers. I'm gonna move OTP like so soon.
Yeah, but you're moving to like Tucker. That's like at the
ATP.
I've always maintained. Yes, Tim, exactly. I've always maintained the ATP is a thing.
It is
because you live ATP.
What's
do.
ATP?
At the perimeter.
Still, so I think that David, you have a good point that like events bring people, and that is an event, and that is a cool facility to go have a game at. And I don't know how you split, with a neutral game. I don't know how you split profits or anything like that, and that might make a difference on negotiations.
Truist takes 90%.
Well, no, you're right. Yeah, I mean they'll take some portion, and then we'll split the rest. Which, is it fair to split it even? I don't know. I don't think that's probably true. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I will say though, going back to are they an impact? I guess if you look at the state of Florida, and they have like what 6, 7 FBS teams, maybe 8. I don't know.
I think it's Florida and
we'll have
Texas,
5, right?
Florida, Texas, and California have 20% of all FBS teams or something.
So I mean, we can support 5, right?
Stats are made up on the fly. So
also, I think it's very interesting that Georgia had 2 what was considered FBS programs for the entirety of all of college football's history until Georgia State started football, and now we're looking at having 3 more of them, going to 5. Yeah. So Georgia State is a trendsetter. Awesome.
More than doubling. Yeah.
And then Conference USA, once we move to the Big 12 and Kennesaw State replaces us in the Sun Belt.
Mercer, here we come.
Mercers.
Exactly. and Savannah State's going to want to restart football again.
I was say, didn't they close
the seed?
They're going to want us to restart football, Savannah State. And they'll finally start beating the snot out of the trash down south.
Hooray.
Yeah. All right. There was one other thing. We're approaching
way
an
over.
hour.
Yeah, we did all right for not actually previewing next week's game.
Right.
We did a good
One
job.
other thing, basketball. The seating event is tomorrow night. So Ryan's going to show up and increase his pack donation and buy his
on the
season
spot.
ticket. Right. But he has to wait until Tim, because you're picking my seats for me.
I am. I think.
Yeah. Well, I told them
that's a lot of pressure. A lot.
Well, you know that I'm going to probably anytime I watch a game, and if I don't like my viewing angle, I'm going to say that it's all your fault.
You'd be like, "Get out of my seats!
For eternity.
I'm taking yours."
These are our last seats forever. This is going to be it. There's no more buying. It's going to sell
perpetual,
out.
Right? You have
it's
a
going to
PSL.
sell out. I will never have a chance to go back in there and change my seats because I'll never get a better seat than what you can pick for me. I'm going to get in there, Ryan. I'm going to get to my seats the very first game on Halloween, and I would be like in the upper deck, the only person in the upper deck section.
That would be a hilarious joke.
I'll be down below in my one seat.
Yeah, exactly. No one around you.
That actually, you could have the one seat that's in the very corner. Remember, David, when you toured,
they do have
the one seats.
I like those. They have those like little 1-seat rows. I love those at stadiums. I think that's great.
It is.
It's for people. Yeah.
The arena is looking great, by the way, with the new floor down. Can't wait to see it tomorrow night.
I was supposed to be there tonight. There was a PAC board meeting today, and they moved the meeting from Center Park to the Convocation Center. And I was on the phone call for a little while, but then they went and took a tour. They went and took a tour of the Convocation Center, and I was not the Zoom. Apparently, they don't know how to use phones, so I was not able to go and do that thing.
Technically challenged. It's all right.
Yeah, that happened. That's not fair. I'm lying. I logged off before then. I was making dinner for the kids. So, all right. I actually have a couple of more topics that I had put on the thing in my very, very short notes that we can talk about on last call. So,
Perfect.
You guys ready to head on over?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys. Thanks everybody for listening. We're gonna have our last call, drink some more, let Ryan curse a lot more. You can find it on our Patreon page at patreon.com/stateofatlanta. It is free, comes out on Friday mornings, unless you're a Patreon member, which is like we only have 2 spots left at $3 a month. That covers our bills. Then it goes up to $5 a month to be a Patreon member. If you want to get into it now.
Right now.
Get into our access to our private group chat, which is outside of doing this is the most fun part about doing the whole podcast thing. I love our private group chat. We have a lot of good conversation about Georgia State and just stuff in general. And yeah, discuss some merchandise, all kind of stuff. Find it out on our page at patreon.com/stateofatlanta. We're heading over there now. Thanks everybody for listening. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.